Hello?
Chris, it's Scott.
Oh, hey man, how's it going?
Totally excellent, dude.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, what's up?
Not much, compadre. Just chilling out here at mi casa.
All right. Hey, are you okay? You seem different.
Oh, yeah, man, I'm totally tubular. I've just been listening to this bitchin' new podcast and scarfing down some Zaz, you know?
Right. Bitchin'.
Totally. It's called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Minute, and it's a completely gnarly new show that breaks down, analyzes, and discusses the 1990 live-action Turtles movie one shell-kicking minute at a time.
Wait, 1 minute at a time? Like a whole episode dedicated to just, 1 minute of the movie? Oh, hey Scott, hold on a second.
Dude, I have got a boss new podcast to show you.
Oh my god, it's totally rad. You're gonna freak.
Hey Adam, Rachel, come in, I guess.
Is that Scott? Put him on speaker.
Yeah, he was just telling me about Teenage Mutant...
Ninja Turtles Minute? Excellent.
Excellent.
Rad.
Dudette, how totally mondo is that show?
Totally, man. I scope so many fresh new knowledge nuggets. I feel like my brain is going to explode.
Yeah, and it comes out every day of the week, so I can just max and relax and score some serious turtle time.
Chris, you have to motor over to duelinggenre.com or wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Minute right now.
Yeah, okay, I just... Am I gonna start talking like that?
Yo, Connor, don't be a spaz.
Yeah, be wicked.
Bodacious.
Righteous.
Fresh.
So, bro, what's it gonna be? You gonna check out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Minute or what?
Well, I guess there's only one thing to say. Cowabunga!
Yeah! Party!
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Minute, available July 31st on duelinggenre.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Dueling Genre.
Hello and welcome to Rocky Minute, a daily podcast where we analyze the movie Rocky 1 minute at a time. I am Doug Greenberg.
And I'm Jason Haynes.
And today we're knocking out minute 19, which starts with Rocky checking out his stuff on Skid Row, and it ends with Rocky finally getting to the point. So Rocky accuses Mike of putting his stuff on Skid Row.
Yes.
I guess that's the...
But this is like a dramatic look he has. Like, he looks at the bags, he looks at Mike, like he's like, this is... Apparently putting your stuff on Skid Row is probably one of the worst things that can happen to you, because he's like looking around and he says it like, you put my stuff on Skid Row?
Yeah.
Wow. Like, oof.
I mean, maybe they call it Skid Row for a reason.
Skid Row.
He's out on his ass.
If you look up the definition of Skid Row.
Mm-hmm. Metal band from the 80s.
What a good band. I remember, I Remember You and Youth Gone Wild. And what a good song. That was like, I Remember You was one of those songs when you were growing up, like our age, and that's when you were like into girls and songs like I Remember You by Skid Row. And
the school dance, you would ask the DJ to play that so you could dance with your
Every
your
Rose
gal.
Has Its Thorn by Poison.
Yeah.
Never Say Goodbye from Bon Jovi. That was the one.
Home Sweet Home.
Right? That was the one, man.
All right, so Skid Row.
Skid Row is an impoverished area, typically urban, inhabited by the poor, homeless, or others considered disreputable or forgotten by society. So this is where all the forgotten people have gone. The people, you're down on your luck, you're out, this is probably the last step before you're dead, I guess. I don't know.
It's probably the last thing Rocky needs at this time. Because
You figure, you got yelled at by your boss, you went to hit on your girl at the thing, at the pet shop. That didn't go well, as we said before. You got yelled at by your boss, and now you go and your stuff is pretty much one step from out the door at the boxing gym. Like, this is a rough day, man.
Yeah.
This is awful.
So Rocky, the way he looks at his stuff on Skid Row and the way he looks at Mike, there's that, just below the surface anger that's going on.
It's a lot of emotions. There's just below the surface anger. There's just the, look at his face. He can't believe it.
Yeah,
What,
shock.
And to Rocky's thing, and here's the thing, we're going to hear it a couple more times. He keeps throwing out the "you should have seen me," and you kind of get the feeling does he think that he's better than he is at this point in his life? Does he think that he's more successful than he is? Where he's telling everybody "you should have seen me," but nobody's seeing him, and he feels disrespected, and he feels like nobody cares about his career, and he's telling everybody he sees "you should have seen me," So he does he feel like he's that good where like everybody should be watching him and no one is, and he can't figure out why? And that's why now he comes here. So he probably thinks everything's going great. I'm great. You should have seen me. You should have seen me. And now my stuff's on Skid Row.
He's a 30-year-old fighter who's making $40, at a local club. Mm-hmm. I can't see how he would view that as success.
But he's bragging about the fight that he knocked out Spider Rico. People, knocked him out like as if it was an accomplishment.
I don't know.
But why does he keep telling people you should have seen me? If I was a boxer and my career wasn't going well, and I wouldn't be telling people you should have seen me.
Right.
People would be like, "Oh, can I come watch you fight?" Like, I'd rather you didn't. I'm not really that great. But like I just feel like he thinks things are better than they are. And now this coming here and your stuff's on Skid Row, he's can't believe it. Like you put my stuff on Skid Row. Like, but I knocked out Spider Rico yesterday in the second round. Second round.
Second.
I knocked out Spider Rico in the second round yesterday. My stuff should be. I should have the best locker in the place, kind of. And I'm on Skid Row.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, I can't see how you would view his life as successful. I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe he does think he's better, and he's just waiting for the cards to fall his way.
But we got another mention of this Mickey guy when Mike says with like almost like a fear, like
he's definitely intimidated.
Tell me what to do, I got to do it. Like you start to be, who is this guy? Like who? Like Mike is clearly afraid of him. Mm-hmm. And Mickey's like the boss. He tells me to do, I got to do it. I'm
wondering who at this moment with seeing Rocky shocked and angry when the way he says Mickey tells me what to do, I got to do it, right, Rock? He looks intimidated. You think he's intimidated more by Mickey or Rocky? Because Rocky's holding a fire extinguisher and he's going to cave in his head.
He could be equally as intimidated as both of them. Rocky's an intimidating guy,
He's big.
Mike's
big. 5 feet tall.
But if Mike had heard that Rocky didn't break Bob's thumbs like Gazzo asked him to, then maybe Mike wouldn't be so intimidated by him.
Word is going around town.
Maybe he would have been intimidated by him yesterday, but he knows. Whatever, but he's probably intimidated by both, and he's kind of looking for. And it also looks like Mike, how I said before, how it looks like he doesn't want Rocky to go in the gym. He's trying to stop him, and now he's coming in with a look on his face like, Mickey tells me to do it, I got to do it, right, Rock? Like he doesn't want to do this to Rocky. Like I think this guy also likes Rocky, and everybody seems to like Rocky. This guy likes him and feels bad as what's happening to him, and he doesn't want to do this, but he's kind of affirmation, like I had to do what he tells me to do, right, Rock? Like, please agree with me. Don't be mad.
Well, Rocky asks where Mickey is. And Mike says he's working with Dipper. He's in a bad mood. And Rocky says, so am I.
Oh, boy.
Shit's about to go down.
Shit's about to get real. He is mad. And the other thing is right as he's walking out, he hands Mike the fire extinguisher.
Take care of
Put it down. Hang it back up. Don't just... He hands him the fire extinguisher.
So Rocky walks across the gym past the other fighters that are training. There's a trainer somewhere in the gym within earshot telling a fighter to keep your hands up, watch the right. It's just like business as usual. It's not until later where Rocky brings everything to a screeching halt when he yells at Mickey. But he walks up to Mick and he goes, "Hey Mick," and then Mick just growls at him, "Shut up."
Yeah, well, here's the first our first meeting with Mickey. This is where we first get to see who this guy is, and right off the bat, we could tell he's a salty old man.
Oh yeah, but he's a little old man. So you're like, oh, maybe it's not going to go down. Maybe Rocky's not gonna beat Mickey up. But yeah, he's definitely salt up to his eardrums.
Yeah, he's not. He's an angry, salty old man, and he's just. You also get to see like the first. You kind of when Mike says he's in a bad mood and Mike's like, so am I. Like you kind of start to, like I said before, it seems like the first beginning of this movie they're just setting up relationships. Rocky Adrian, Rocky Gazzo. You start to see the building of these relationships, and this is our first. Like you can already tell that there's a special kind of relationship here. Like we don't know what it is yet. I mean, we know what it is because we've seen the movie, but it's kind of like there's a tension, but there's some underlying thing. We later find out the underlying thing is that Mickey feels like Rocky wasted his life and could have been so much more than he was, but you don't know that yet, but you know something's up between these two. There's a love-hate type of situation going on here, and just Mickey's first interaction, right? Shut up. Just, wow, okay.
Well, yeah, I want to touch on it tomorrow when their exchange is longer, but you definitely feel like there's some kind of some level of a stressed relationship, I guess. So Dipper's sparring in the ring, trainer's giving him instructions when Mickey yells time. Dipper's done. So he turns his attention to Rocky, goes, what the hell, or the hell, what do you want? And Rocky goes, how you feeling today? So Rocky was in a bad mood for getting his locker taken away, and that's you're gonna go and counter him. You finally got your moment to say something. How you feeling today?
And finally, in a movie so far of awful comebacks, there's finally a great comeback when somebody's. You'd expect like when somebody say, "How you feeling?" I'm fine. Why? What's the problem? Like, what? Like, why are you asking me that? Not Mickey. He comes back with "What are you, a doctor?
A doctor or something?" But Rocky asked him twice. He goes, "How you feeling today?" Rocky goes, Mickey goes, "What?" And Rocky repeats it. "How you feeling today? What are you, a doctor or something?" And then he asks, "What? You got a problem today?" And then Mickey says, "Never mind my problem. What's your problem?" Like this exchange is just. It's weird.
But like I said, you can tell like they're just he's a salty old man. Rocky's in a bad mood. Like they're not angry at each other. You can tell there's some kind of relationship here.
Rocky finally getting to the point without all this small talk. He wants to know why he was thrown out of his locker, and it ends here. Mickey starts to say because dip, and then it cuts. Yeah, so I mean.
But Mickey, this is our first time we get to see him, and he just looks like an old boxing trainer. He's has that look to him, an small old guy. He obviously doesn't look like he ever was a boxer, or successful boxer.
We come to find out he was. I don't know how successful, but a boxer nonetheless.
But you know what? I found something interesting. This is our first time of hearing his voice.
Yeah.
And his voice was something that I watched the interview with Sylvester Stallone that he talked about Mickey's voice. And he was saying when he was casting Mickey, he said he wanted someone who fit the part of like an unrealized human being, he said. Someone with potential, but the potential was never tapped. And he kind of alluded to Burgess Meredith, that he had been an actor since the 30s and was a great actor and but he wasn't at the top of his game. Mm-hmm. It wasn't at the top of a list of great actors, and he feels like he should have been. And that's what he kind of wanted. But he said something about his voice. He said his voice was the voice of every unrealized man who entered this incredible pugilistic world and never had succeeded. And they were frustrated, they were vulnerable. And that was kind of like, he got that just from his voice. And Mickey has that raspy...
gravelly.
We keep using the word salty. We use a little salty a lot in this conversation. That salty old man voice who's just, angry and we don't know why yet, but we figure it all out later. But Mickey's voice is a legendary. When you think of Mickey, you think of his voice in Rocky, the way he talked. Also, the Penguin, but
yeah.
But it was just weird that Sylvester Stallone said he was captivated by his voice, like right from the very beginning. And the other thing he said about Burgess Meredith when he read for the part was that he goes, this was in the 70s. He's been acting since the 30s. Mm-hmm. So by my calculations, that's 40 years.
40 plus.
40 plus years. But he said when he came in, he said he had like the enthusiasm of a child. Like he came in to read for the part with preparations, with like different voices and characters and mannerisms. And he said he was excited about the part, and Stallone said he didn't expect this guy who had been acting for so long to come in and have that much enthusiasm.
I think it was on the commentary, Stallone's commentary. When we meet Mick, he tells a story. No, maybe it was Avildsen who said it. Or one of the producers. God damn it, I can't remember. Okay. But they said that Lee Strasberg auditioned for the part, but he just wanted way too much money. And Burgess Meredith and Lee Strasberg were friends. So after Mickey pretty much got the part before he walked out of the audition. Mm-hmm. So Lee Strasberg calls up Burgess Meredith later on that night just to check up on life, see how things are going. And Burgess Meredith asks him like, "Oh, what are you working on? When you got something coming up?" And Strasberg said, yeah, you know, I just auditioned for this part, Mickey, in this movie Rocky that's coming out. He's like, I think I did real good. I think I got a shot at the part. But Burgess Meredith already knew that he had it, so he's kind of just, he had no idea that Strasberg auditioned for it. So he's sitting there he didn't tell him on the phone, but he's just sitting there knowing that his buddy auditioned for the same part as him, and he got it over him.
But you would think the character Mickey wouldn't have handled it like that. Like, I already got that part. You're a bum. I already got it.
Oh, everybody's a bum.
Yeah, but no, this is you know, Mickey. You saw him on the street. He looks like a homeless person almost. Like
yeah,
dresses real drab. He's got the hat on. Doesn't cover his ears.
Everybody who's seen this movie does like a Mickey impression. Everybody knows.
I tried a couple times a few seconds ago, and
yeah, and you blew out the eardrums of everybody listening.
Well, hey,
that's all I got for today.
Yeah,
we'll get more into Mickey and Dipper tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up.
In the meantime,
let the fans recover from their ears bleeding.
Yeah, when your ears stop bleeding, head over to Facebook and join our listeners group called Mighty Mix. And Twitter, find us on Twitter at The Rocky Minute. Nope. Just at Rocky Minute, not just at Rocky Minute. And you can find us and all our friends on duelinggenre.com. And go over to moviesbyminutes.com. If you have a favorite movie, chances are there's a minute-by-minute podcast of it. And come back tomorrow, and we'll continue the conversation here on the next Rocky Minute.